Misconceptions about discipleship. Many people assume that being called to follow Jesus leads to a lifestyle of luxury and abundant wealth. This misconception is far from the truth. The essence of discipleship is not about possessing nice things or maintaining a lavish way of living. Instead, it is about understanding who Jesus truly is and learning how to receive the life he offers, so that souls may be saved and live in a manner worthy of entering his presence and seeing his kingdom when the time comes. Jesus' teaching on comfort and sacrifice. In Matthew 8 verse 20, Jesus says that foxes have dens to live in and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place even to lay his head. Many have said Jesus was rich and had a home. So, what does this mean? Jesus uses it to highlight the cost and sacrifice required for discipleship. The meaning is that even the most basic creatures have a place of rest and security, but following him means being willing to forego such comforts, as his mission required a life of constant travel and hardship. The contrast. Jesus contrasts the secure, natural homes of the animals with his own lack of a permanent home. The message. He uses this to warn potential followers that becoming his disciple is not an easy, comfortable path. It involves a willingness to give up worldly security and comfort for a higher spiritual purpose. The urgency. The saying also emphasizes the urgency of his mission, as he did not have time to be bogged down with normal life. Challenges of discipleship. Sacrifice over luxury. Jesus understood the difficulties and sacrifices involved in following him, yet many people hesitate to fully commit if it means they must go without material comforts. The question arises, how many have truly experienced lack and still remained steadfast in calling Jesus or God good? Many express disappointments, saying they have believed in God, but have not seen their prayers answered or their needs met according to his promises of provision. This attitude reflects a broader misconception among those who follow Jesus today, a belief that discipleship should be accompanied by a life of luxury and financial abundance. Instead of focusing on serving and saving souls for God's kingdom, many people dedicate themselves to personal celebrations and pursuits that build their own kingdoms on earth. This self-centered approach has caused many to lose sight of the true purpose of discipleship, leading them astray from the path God intended. Influence of leadership and misplaced priorities. People have been misled by the examples set by prominent leaders whose lifestyles and values often prioritize fame and wealth above spiritual truth. What God never intended to be the main focus, worldly success and the lifestyles of the rich, has become most important for many. As a result, the willingness to do what is right simply because it is right has diminished, replaced by the desire to acquire wealth and public recognition. This mindset is evident in the tendency to broadcast acts of charity and generosity on social media, seeking validation and applause from others. However, according to Matthew 6 verses 1 to 4, KJV, take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. The Bible warns that making one's good deeds known to the world for personal glory brings only earthly reward, not the approval or blessing of God. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. The challenge of genuine discipleship. Many people struggle with the idea of following Jesus if it means living without material comforts. While Jesus himself accepted a life of sacrifice and humility, the influence of leaders and those in positions of authority has also played a role in this confusion. People often look to those who are elected or prominent, adopting their values and lifestyles as examples. As a result, fame, wealth, and luxury have become falsely elevated in importance, far beyond what God ever intended. The reality of discipleship, beyond luxury and recognition. Jesus taught that following him is neither easy nor comfortable. The path of discipleship includes suffering and challenges that may only be understood as one experiences them, step by step. The idea that serving God is associated with luxury and extravagant lifestyles does not originate from God, but rather from human nature, a desire for worldly things and recognition. People often portray living for God as something glamorous, but this is a false representation that leads souls away from the truth of God. While individuals may attempt to shape discipleship into an attractive image, the reality is that a believer's life should be determined by the Word of God and its truth. Nothing else truly matters. Now is the time to reconsider one's perspectives, because when Jesus returns, there will be no more opportunities for preparation. The final moment will arrive, and people will either be accepted or rejected without negotiation. Jesus' purpose and example. Jesus made it clear that his mission was not to enjoy earthly luxury or seek human acceptance, but to fulfill his Father's will. He came to experience everything that humans face, so he could help them in their time of need. Although Jesus had heavenly luxury, he gave it up to take on human form and offer salvation to all. He served in whatever condition he found himself in and expects his followers to do the same, regardless of their material circumstances. Discipleship should never cause division among people, and Jesus emphasized that discrimination has no place among his followers. God's perspective on wealth and compassion. Wealth as a tool for good. Jesus taught that God does not object to people possessing wealth, provided it is used to benefit others. God's desire is not for riches to be hoarded or for the needs of the poor to be neglected. The purpose of wealth, according to Jesus' teachings, is to serve others and promote compassion within the community. God's purpose in diversity and need. Both those who have abundance and those who lack are included in God's plan. This design teaches people to care for one another as a family, fostering unity and empathy regardless of differences, such as skin color or background. Jesus himself lived through every circumstance: temptation, poverty, affluence, having a home, homelessness, hunger, abundance, trials, and peace. He experienced suffering and persecution, modeling how to live faithfully under all conditions. The role of wealth in human life. God's wisdom is evident in placing poor people in the world, challenging those with plenty to show compassion and provide for others. Wealth is not meant solely for personal gain. Instead, it is entrusted so that individuals may help those in need. Sometimes, God gives wealth to those who do not yet know him, so they may recognize that he is the source of all provision. However, people often misunderstand this gift, believing that their success is self-made and turning their security inward rather than toward God. Jesus' example and call to compassion. Jesus demonstrated both wealth and poverty in his life, remaining sinless and showing unconditional brotherly love. He calls his followers to do the same, encouraging them not to let anything prevent them from helping those in need. True discipleship requires a willingness to stand out and be different, regardless of how others may perceive them. May the Father our God be merciful and show forth his unfailing love to all who are willing to receive and follow him. God is a master of his own plans, and they will be fulfilled. But even in the midst of it all, God is love. Thank you for listening and watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.